Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to give you a couple of very easy tips that you can actually use to food prep very smart and also make sure that you are eating healthy foods, saving money, and improving your health. I know food is very expensive right now and you don't want to waste food, but you also want to make sure that you're not eating out because you don't have food at home, or you just start eating bad because there's no planning. When you do plan your meals and you have an idea of what you want to make, it really keeps you on track. It also reduces the amount of food that you waste, and you also tend to be more consistent, motivated, and you even get creative in the kitchen, because when you start trying new things and you see that this should not really be that difficult and it becomes simple, you get into a routine and you start eating less out, also cutting a lot of junk food and just enjoying simple, healthy meals. So the first thing that I want you to think about is, where can you put down your menu? So I do like using a planner. This is something that you can even buy at the dollar store, Target, and these are just simple things that you can find, so you can have a plan, write it down, maybe put it on your refrigerator, and just try to follow what you are planning. It doesn't have to be perfect. Perfection is not the key, but it's just to have an idea and also make sure that you're eating enough healthy foods. So the first thing that I want you to do is think of, what is it that you need to buy when you go to the supermarket? So going to the supermarket with a plan, it's also going to allow you to save money and not buy things that you don't really need, especially now that it's very pricey to go to the supermarket. So the first thing that I want you to do is to think and make sure that you're having a basic meal plan. You can first, I'm gonna go with the favorite category, which is carbs. You should pick 1 to 2 carbs. You can use 3, but I personally try to do at least 2 carbs, 3 carbs that are on my list. Carbs can be different. There's different types of carbs. I will recommend that you stick to the complex carbs, which are carbs that are packed with fiber, and they will give you the energy that you need. Carbs should not come from white bread, bagels, white pasta, but if you do like this type of foods, I recommend that you buy sprouted bread with seeds, with tons of good nutrients in it. Sometimes they have vegetables in them like carrots, they have nuts in them, they have dried fruits like raisins and craisins. So buy a good quality bread. Also, I recommend that if you do buy something that is, to go maybe with your protein, this is a go-to. Quinoa is an amazing complex carb, and it also has a lot of protein. Farro, which is something that you can use as rice. Or if you do want to have rice, I recommend that you buy brown rice, black rice, not white rice. Okay? You can also buy for the carbs, those that like pasta, buy a plant-based pasta. There's plenty of them out there. There's chickpea, lentil, and these pastas are packed with fiber, and they will give you energy, also improve your digestion, and believe it or not, they can actually help you lose weight. So carbs are not always the same, but if you're just eating white pasta, that's not the carb that you should be eating. Bagels all the time, that's not the carb that our bodies need. Make sure that you're looking for good plant-based stuff, and you can add a lot of goodies so you can make it taste good. So for the carbs, 2 to 3 carbs, that's my recommendation. Then I also want you to think about proteins. Protein is very, very important. So you can pick between 2 to 3, and these are things that you can maybe, alternate, use it in different forms, so that way you can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with a good protein portion. So one of them, this is a very easy one that I usually use, lentils. Lentils are packed with protein. They're plant-based, they're very affordable, and you can have them as a soup. You can make them as a salad, or also as a side dish to maybe go with chicken or fish or whatever you want. Another one that is important, and this is also good for those of you that enjoy having eggs for breakfast. You can also make frittatas, quiches, and things like that. That can be also lunch and dinner. So eggs, legumes, and beans. Black beans, red beans, white beans, chickpeas, packed with protein. They're also affordable, and you can make them in many, many different ways. And of course, if you do eat meat, I recommend that you buy organic chicken. You don't have to have a lot of it. If you want to have some protein and you don't want to have 3 huge pieces of chicken breast, you can mix them and maybe make a nice salad and put chickpeas and the chicken, or maybe chickpeas with some lentils, or maybe even with the carbs that have protein in it, like maybe like a quinoa salad, and you can put some chicken on top. So think about the things that you want to combine so you can make it balanced, add the protein, also the carb that also has protein and fiber, and this is the game changer. So you can get creative and add the things that you want. And the last one, the veggies. Veggies are really unlimited. If you do like veggies, you can mix them with any of these options, like the rice, pasta, quinoa, farro, and even with the protein. And vegetables are super, super important. I recommend that you stick to the ones that have the highest nutrients, and usually they are collard greens, kale, Brussels sprouts, mushrooms. Super important. Mushrooms are a game changer. Also having maybe some squashes or pumpkins, broccoli, tomatoes. Tomatoes are not a veggie, but they can be used as, you know, for your salads, and go really well with your salads and vegetable dishes. Cauliflower. So don't just stick to lettuce. Lettuce is actually not very high in nutrients. So try to go for the leafy greens. Also spinach is amazing. So try to have a list of vegetables that you want to have, maybe with your pasta, your chicken, even with your eggs in the morning. And one of the dishes that you can make, I actually made a very simple one, and this is a farro quinoa, and I put some pasta in it also. And I added some chickpeas, tomatoes, some little pieces of broccoli, olive oil, salt, and vinegar. And I have a very nice dish that I can have cold or warm. This can work as a salad or as a side dish with maybe a piece of chicken. And all of these foods can actually help you. You can combine them, write down the ingredients that you're buying, buy groups, categories, how many you're buying, and then you can come to the day and get creative and try to think of something that you can make. So I'm just gonna give you a quick idea. I have my chicken, I have my quinoa, and I have some vegetables. So for the vegetables, it could be anything. So I can actually boil some quinoa, I can chop up some vegetables, saute or grill my chicken, and then you can make a very, very nutritious high protein salad or warm dish using these 3 ingredients. And it's very easy. You can put it in a taco if you want to change it up. You can put it just have it as a salad, and then you can change up the ingredients and get creative and have a balanced meal every time you sit down, and also save money when you go to the supermarket. All right, guys, I hope these tips were helpful. I hope you can incorporate them to not only save money when you go to the supermarket, but also to stay on track, feel healthy, and just improve your health in general. All right, have a fantastic week.